piece that allows for you to use a pod. And this is meant to be a very travel-friendly espresso machine. So this has a couple pieces that I just already lost some and don't know how to put together, but snap it on there. You can use a pod. I don't really know why I got a pod thing because I've never really used a pod in my life, and I have other machines that can do it. And then we have my receipt. I'm kind of curious to see how much I paid for this all in all. So I paid $125 plus $22 for the pod adapter, plus I think another $25 to ship. So I'm in it for about 50 bucks cheaper than retail, and I backed it on December 9th. Oh wait, no. I don't know when I backed it. Either way, it's in my hand now. This is the Flair Go. This is the smallest of their lineup. It uses their smaller original brew head size and portafilter basket size. Looks like we have a little user guide on the inside here. And yeah, what I'm curious about this, in my first thought, is this thing is huge. For a travel-friendly thing, yes, I mean it is small for travel-friendly, but like, look at how huge this thing is. Like that's, I don't know, it just feels way bigger than it should. Probably because I just went on vacation and I used a PicoPresso, and give me just a second. I just got back on vacation and I traveled with this little thing, which uses a, I can't remember the size of the portafilter, but this is a PicoPresso. This is the Flair Go. Look at the size difference on those things. Like, you could fit like it's like 3 times as big, at least, for the Flair Go. And the PicoPresso is cheaper. So let's take a look on the inside here. I gotta always remember to do that. We have, we'll start with the brew head. The brew head I'm super excited for. If I can take it apart. We have a pressure gauge in here, which is a nice add-on feature that they're including with everything. Nice little pressure gauge. There's just some tape over some things. We have the brew head right here, and this is their more thinner style one that they switched to on the most recent Flair Neo, as well as the Pro 2, per se. Pro 3, Flair Pro 3. And then we got a little dispersion screen in there. We have their little handy-dandy little funnel. Their 2-in-1 bottomless portafilter. Maybe. Either way. 2-in-1 bottomless portafilter with a spout. I wish there would have been an option for the Neo piece. The Neo piece being this little red piece here that allows for flow control, as what they call it. And the reason why I think they should do that is because I feel like traveling, I would prefer pre-ground coffee or not have to worry about fussing with dialing it in, which would be the nice part about having the Neo piece with you, because it has that flow control restrictor in there, allowing you to get quote-unquote crema, or a little bit better of a distraction on the pressure that you need. We got the world's smallest, tiniest little tamper. This thing's so small, there's a little bit more wiggle room than I would have liked in there, but this is me being nitpicky because that's what I do as a YouTube reviewer. And here we go. We have, out of the case, we have the Flair Go, and that makes it feel so much smaller. When they advertised it, like, look at how tiny this thing is, and then they put it up to the box, which is quite a bit bigger than the box, as you can see, or the box is quite a bit bigger than the actual thing. So this has multiple hinges here. So let's just go ahead and unfold this spider looking thing. Oh, that's kind of neat. And you got to do something here. This is why maybe you should read the instructions. Push this little button. Nope, that button's supposed to be there. Oh, you gotta think things through a little bit. There you go. You got your little spider flare looking thing here. let's fold this back. At first, when I made my first initial video on whether or not I felt like you should back this as a Flair, I thought this was made out of plastic like the Neo Flex was, which if it was made out of plastic, this would be very problematic. However, I feel like the metal on this is kind of a nice brushed finish. It almost is kind of like a Fox bed liner of a truck. Unfolding it is going to take some time getting used to because I don't fully understand it. Okay, it looks like that goes back and the legs go out, and then there we go. Either way, I'm sure once you get used to it, it'll be fine. What I've heard from this is there's already some wear and tear in different places. This isn't perfectly finished. There's already like scratches right here on this top part of the handle. Some wear on the frame here. Some wear on the hinges here. They also make it in a green color. I chose the black color because green reminded me too much of Christmas because it has the Flair Go on there. It's also got the item number somewhere on the leg there. So basically, theoretically, since I didn't think too far ahead and I didn't put this perfectly next to the table, there you go, you got your little thing there, and you slap that brew head on, put your pressure gauge in, and Viola, whatever, I don't know. It seems very wobbly when you put it on a table at first. Let's see if I can just turn that a little bit. There we go. It seems like a little wobbly, like easy to knock over. It flexes a little bit too. I don't know. This is just, even when you pull back the handle on it, it just like it moves a lot until you like push down on it, and it will do the job, but it just feels not great. And this handle hitting right here is really causing some wear there. This is right next to me. This is the Flair Neo. This is prior to the Neo Flex. Also, if you made it this far, like and subscribe, because sure enough, we're going to be testing this thing out in future days, and we'll see how it goes. But that's not going to happen today, so you're not going to know my shots unless you like and subscribe. So do that. Okay, you can swap out the other brew head on it. So like if you have the old Flair Classic, you can just swap out the whole brew head if you want to, and it will, I think, do the trick. Oh, no, it won't. Oh, no. This just got interesting. So I have this. Surely this is not the case, and I would love to know if somebody else has this problem. But this is the old Neo piece. So this is one of the original ones, which they have changed the design a little bit. But what happens is if you put this on here, it does not sit flush in there. Will it work? Yeah, but you're going to it's probably going to get jammed in there because it doesn't fit, and there's a little bit of wiggle room on there versus, yeah, I don't like that. Hopefully that's not the case, because that is kind of a bummer if you can't use that Neo piece. At least you can't use the old Neo piece that they used to have. I don't know. I'm just not overly impressed with it for $200. Personally, this is my initial thought process for it. It does pack a lot of punch. I'm not concerned about the shot. I'm curious to do some comparison against the old thicker brew head versus the thinner brew head that is currently coming with the Flairs. That's one of the reasons why I wanted to get this. But they do pack a lot in here. They do have a bottomless portafilter if you wanted it, a spoutless portafilter. It folds down pretty small and pretty convenient. It's got a nice looking pressure gauge on there that even says Flair Go. It comes with a small tamper. It comes with everything you need, and it folds down and goes into a travel case. But my problem with it is it doesn't seem as travel friendly as I would have hoped it to be. And what I mean by that is if this is the size of it, and you still need to pack everything else, so you do need the case, and the case is this large. I don't have it on me, but a while back with the Flair Pro 2, they had a smaller case than what's currently selling with the Classic and with the Pro 3. And that smaller case I could fit in a backpack pretty well. And if my memory serves, it was thinner than this thing here, but it was quite a bit, like the shape was bigger. It was more rectangular shaped than this, like it was probably twice the width, but a lot thinner. And it did pack well, and I could fit it in a backpack fairly well. But the thing about that is the Flair Pro, Flair whatever, any of the other ones outside of the 58 and the NeoFlex, the base on it is more stable. And I already didn't think that it was super stable to begin with, but it definitely didn't bother me at all. This, I feel like, is going to bother me, and it's not going to be as stable. And why that is a problem is because a lot of people, myself included, which, there we go, a lot of people would take their Flair, and it wasn't the original travel thing that they intended it to. Flair was originally meant to travel espresso, and this is not as... it became more fixed on people's houses. People bought the Flair Pro 2, people bought the Flair, and that was their espresso machine because it was cheap and it produced really good results. And it held up well on their countertop. Now, this is not something that I would like put on my countertop and use every day because of how wobbly it feels. Does it feel like constructed well? Does it feel like it's going to fail? No, but it doesn't feel like sturdy to pull a shot. And once you pull a shot though with pressure, you're not going to have a problem with it. But up until that, like, you can't just trust it sitting on your counter with this full of hot water from preheating. I don't know. It just doesn't make me feel the greatest. I think personally this is a weird market to be in because I don't think, for me, once I compare shots and once I do more with it, of course, initially, I don't see why you would spend $200 on that when this is like $130. This comes with a tamper and everything, and a funnel in here too. Everything you need is in here. It doesn't have a pressure gauge in this, but you can buy a pressure gauge separately. So you could basically buy this pressure gauge here, and this is the size of it all with the pressure gauge that you'd have to throw in separately. Way smaller and more compact and easier to bring with you than the Flair Go. I'm a little disappointed in it because I just got back from vacation and I was thinking this is going to be my new go-to, but it just seems like it's too large to travel with. I feel like if I'm going to bring something this large, I would rather just figure out how to fit a Flair Pro 2 in my bag because the case is smaller, and I still think they sell the smaller case on there. There's going to be links for all the stuff that I'm talking about in the description below. But like and subscribe. Stay tuned for more videos with this, and we'll see how it goes, and we'll see if it's actually worth it. And take everything I said with a grain of salt because I have not pulled a single shot with this thing yet. But that's coming. So thank you so much for watching.